Hello there, very good afternoon to you and welcome to Lunchtime News. We are coming to you live and direct from the News1st studio here in Colombo. Before we head into the stories in detail, here's a look at the headlines. The death sentence was imposed upon 7 members of the same family by the Norelia High Court today. The sentence was handed over following prolonged court hearings that had commenced over a murder that was committed on the 4th of June 2000. 3 indictments were filed against the 7 suspects with regard to the case pertaining to the murder of Periyaswamy Shanmuganathan, a resident of Venturvatha, Norelia. Norelia High Court Judge Lalit Eknayaka handed down the death sentence. A 3-wheeler bus collision claimed the life of a pregnant mother who was being taken to the Mahamodara Hospital in Gaul to give birth to her unborn child. However, a tireless effort by the doctors resulted in the life of the unborn being saved. Our correspondent said the accident occurred last night along Samudramawatha in Gaul. The deceased was a 25-year-old Karandinia resident. Police say she succumbed to her injuries en route to the hospital. The drivers of the bus and 3-wheeler have been arrested. 3-wheel driver rather has been arrested in connection with the incident, while Gaul traffic police are carrying out further investigations. A protest was staged in Slave Island today against the previous administration's failure to grant houses as promised.
The protest was staged by the residents of Station Lane in Slave Island. They charged that they were removed from the location over a pledge made by the previous administration to relocate them into a new apartment complex in 2013. They also charged that they have been residing in rented-out houses ever since. They say that though they were promised new houses, constructions are still ongoing to build another building. JVP Western Provincial Councillor Attorney at Law Sunil Watagala participated in the protest. An MOU was signed promising to build houses instead of the houses which these occupants were removed from by the previous administration. They still haven't granted these houses to them. These people have been living in rented-out houses in different locations. Construction of another large apartment by the Pakistani company is currently taking place on that land. The apartment complex is said to be sold out to some others. This breaches the laws on land reclamation.
Former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that they will build houses here and give them to us. Nothing has come about according to the promises. We have shifted to 3 houses already. We are stranded. We are put to a position where we cannot even make our ID cards. We are asking for relief from the government for the wrong that was committed by the former Defence Secretary.
A group engaged in a protest in Paliamulla, Panadura, demanding that the renovation activities on the old Gaul Road be expedited. The protest was carried out obstructing the Panadura-Colombo Old Gaul Road in Panadura. Our correspondent added that the protest resulted in heavy traffic congestion along the Panadura-Colombo main road. The protesters dispersed following a pledge made by the Panadura Assistant Divisional Secretary to provide a solution by Tuesday.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and a delegation left for South Korea on a 6-day official tour. More details follows after this short commercial break. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and a delegation left for South Korea on a 6-day official tour. The former president and his delegation left for Seoul, South Korea aboard a Singapore Airlines flight. The former president is accompanied by MPs Talasala Peruma, Bandula Gunawardena, Mahindananda Lutgamage, Vimalveera Disanayaka, P.L. Nishanta, Lohan Ratwatta and Professor G.L. Piris. A miner employed at a mine located down Sudarshana Mavatha in Anuradhapura died after being struck by a rock on the head. Our correspondent said the worker had succumbed to injuries following admission to the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital. The deceased, a 39-year-old, is a father of two. Our correspondent added the deceased individual was a resident of Shavastipura, Anuradhapura. Anuradhapura police are carrying out investigations into the incident. The founder of the Melab Private Medical College, Dr. Nabil Fernando, called on the Mahanayaka of the Askiri chapter to brief him on the situation surrounding the private medical college. The delegation led by Dr. Nabil Fernando first called on the Mahanayaka of the Askiri chapter, the Most Venerable Varakagoda Sri Jnanaratana Thera. Later, the delegation called on the Anunayaka of the Askiriya chapter, the Most Venerable Anumaduwa Dhammadasi Thera, and obtained blessings. They also met with the registrar of the chapter, Venerable Madagama Dhammananda Thera. Dr. Nabil Fernando also commented to the media.
The medical college is yet to accept the students who passed the final exam in our college with flying colours. We hope that justice will be meted out. This issue is being dragged on. Will this not cause an injustice to students who have been studying there?
An event was held under the auspices of Western Provincial Council in Rajagiriya.
A sewing and handloom course was commenced under the auspices of Provincial Councillor Susil Kindel-Pittiya.
විදේශගත කාන්තාව ගේන මුදලින් තමයි අපේ ආර්ථිකයේ විශාල කොටසක් දුවන්නේ. මේක එක පැත්තකින් බැලුවාම හරි අපරාධයක්.
A large part of our economy is run by the money earned by women who are employed abroad. In a way, it's a crime. A majority of women have gone abroad for employment. The government is using the money they earn, but their lives are tragic and sorrowful. So I believe that this should change. As a politician, I look at the world from a different point of view. Power is temporary. Empowering is for eternity. So the power of politicians should be used to empower people, not to intimidate them.
මිනිස්සුන්ව බල ගන්නවා. නැත්නම් බිය ගන්නවලා තමන්ගේ මඩිය තර කරගන්න නෙමෙයි.
The Colombo Stock Exchange introduced a number of new online services yesterday that will benefit its members.
Through the new services introduced, members of the CSE will now have the opportunity to receive information on the stock exchange as well as investor information, monthly reports and annual reports. A speciality in this feature is the ability to make payments for transactions with much ease.
කොටස් වෙළඳපොලේ ඉතිහාසය බැලුවොත් 92 ඉඳන් පිපිදීමක් ඇති වුණේ හොඳ ප්‍රාථමික.
If you look at the history of the Colombo Stock Exchange, the only time it performs well is when there is an initial public offering. The way I see it, even today, investors can benefit greatly when there is an IPO. The stock market also performs well during such instances. This is good news. Also, this has been spoken for some time, but it is going to happen soon. I consider the primary issuance of state sector institutes in capital markets as a very good news.
How much water goes to waste daily? Isn't it because of the unlimited supply of water that we enjoy? However, to the east, residents of a small village in Batiklo were surviving with a short supply of water. We were able to resolve the issue through the Newsfirst 100-day program today. People of Uthuchene, a rural village located in the district of Batiklo, suffered endlessly without proper access to clean drinking water. A solution was granted for this problem through the government the 100-day program. The foundation stone for the project was laid at the auspicious time of 8:43 this morning following religious observances. Under this water project, students of the Uchuthene Veernagar government Tamil mixed school could have access to clean drinking water.
අපි ජනතාවගේ අපහසුතාවයට පත් වෙලා තියෙන අවස්ථාවල් වාර්තා කරනවා මේ හැම දෙයක්ම අපි කරනවා.
We report about the instance where people are being inconvenienced. We do all of this. But we did not satisfy with only reporting your problems or criticizing the ones who fail to provide solutions. We are moving forward and the signs of that is evident through Gammedda. Therefore, we reported on Gammedda, the problems people face, and thereafter we decided to create an atmosphere where people would come together, the society would come together in resolving these issues.
ජනතාවක් වශයෙන් අපිට එකතු වෙලා ඒ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳන්න අවශ්‍ය කරන වටපිටාව සකස් කරන්නත් ඒ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳන්නත් අවශ්‍ය කරන පියවර අපි ගන්න තීරණය කළේ ඒ නිසායි.
The torch of hope, which travelled across the country to muster support for the Sri Lankan sportsmen and women taking part in the Rio Games, will make its way from Maharagama to the Ministry of Sports today. Organised by the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited and News First, the Torch of Hope is being supported by the National Youth Services Council, Ministry of Sports and the Ministry of Education. Well, that's a wrap of Lunchtime News. Remember to stay ahead. You need to stay close to News First. For that, you simply need to log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. Your latest news update will come your way at 1:55. Take care.